Friday. The Dragoniest, yes. Of Fridays. Appreciate you guys joining us. Got a great show for you today. Barrett Sallee, now at Outkick, contributor there, is going to join us here a little bit later in the show. We're going to take your calls. But David, first, fun fact.
You want a fun fact today?
Yep.
Hall of Fame catcher Pudge Rodriguez got called up to the big leagues on his wedding day. So he and his fiance got married at the Double-A ballpark and then flew to Chicago. And in Pudge's MLB debut, he threw out 2 runners by a mile. Do we have the video of that?
Now to a June wedding that was supposed to take place at home plate in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when the Rangers called, the groom had to get married on his way to the major leagues.
Ivan Rodriguez. Well, he just got married this morning.
Yes, he did. That's a great story about him. He's got his honeymoon night tonight as well as his major league debut.
Before it takes off, here's the throw by Rodriguez.
Crispy.
Yeah, you're
out by a mile.
That's right. You're out again.
Hall of Fame.
I mean, those are two right on those are two right on the money. Well, I guess, at the end of the day, when he says that was the greatest day of my life, he doesn't have to defend, the day he got called up and the day he got married, which obviously makes it a lot easier. I like that one, David. Dug up a little, got pitchers and catchers, obviously hanging out. We got Nerfy season on
Nerfy!
And Yerfy, depending on which way you go.
Oh, wow, you're living
runs
that
in first
life.
inning or no runs in first inning, we're going to see. But the SEC and the Big Ten are seeking 3 automatic qualifiers each in a 14-team college football playoff. The NFL Combine needs to change. I'm going to explain why. And Barrett Sallee joins us to discuss all things in the college football world. I'm Jake Crane. It's Flamin' Dragon Friday. Don't get burned. This is Crane & Company. Now, the NFL Combine is really fun to watch. I enjoy it every year. We get to see some of the best athletes in the world run as fast and jump as high as they possibly can. But the way we do it from an efficiency standpoint, well, it really doesn't add up. Doesn't make that much sense. Why doesn't anyone wear full pads to do anything? Nobody plays the actual game in spandex only. We hear the term football speed all the time. Now, to me, that means some guys are faster in pads and helmets in the game than others. And we also don't record anyone's speed while they're carrying the ball, which is a huge deal, especially for offensive players. Now, there are some things that obviously don't need full gear, like the bench press. But as far as drill work goes, I need to see you do those things with weight on. Now, while I guess you can use it's about a baseline argument for some of the things, which I disagree with in general, the most egregious thing that happens at the Combine is judging quarterbacks based on throwing without pads. It's just frivolous. If you have ever thrown with and without pads on, you know exactly what I mean. We don't send pitchers out there without a glove to pitch when we're judging them. It not only doesn't help, in my opinion, it gives you a false sense of someone's throwing ability. Hell, watch Zach Wilson. And if you're withholding judgment of a quarterback just before you see them throw in their underwear at the Combine, then it's really hard for me to take your eval seriously. The game tape either wins you over or it doesn't. And nothing about throwing in your panties at the Combine can top that. Now, it's fun. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about it. But if we are reaching for getting the best and truest evaluation, it's just not efficient. And is why I believe, as it stands right now, the truest evals that come out of the Combine are purely mental, unless you don't believe that space is real. We're going to get into that as well. Former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, a guy who's thrown in his underwear a lot, and I'm not even talking about football. And then my brother on the Flamin' Dragon Friday. Not going to say his name, but you better bow to your sensei.
Bow to your sensei.
Going to find out if you really want to be ninja.
Welcome to the Day of the Dragon, also the year of the Dragon. It might be the decade of the Dragon. I'm thinking about it.
What are we setting it at?
1.5.
1.5. Can I make a suggestion for a poll,
No,
or
you
have you
cannot.
already done it? Well, I'm going to anyway, and you can go to hell. Is it weird for adults to rollerblade by themselves? Yes, no, or call the cops.
You know what? My original poll was going to be who's going to win the SEC college basketball regular season, but no, that doesn't fit. What did you want?
Is it weird for adults to rollerblade by themselves?
I like that.
Yes, no, or call the cops.
Okay, I got it.
I put this one out on social media last night. Got a lot of play, a lot of diverse opinions, right, which I'm all for. But, David, the way we do the combine, I'm trying to think in any other sport, like, hey, in basketball, go shoot without your tennis shoes on. Like, why do we do this? Not only that, people complain about guys not throwing at the combine. If you can't tell about a quarterback with the game tape on, and then if they're at the Senior Bowl, where you actually wear pads, throwing without pads on and with pads on is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
It's totally different.
I can't stress enough to people how different it is to throw a football with shoulder pads and a helmet.
Yeah,
it's not
true.
just the pads, the helmet too, versus throwing without. Now, if I were a general manager or a scout, I would still like to see all of these guys up close and personal throw the football and just try not to overweigh that portion of what I'm seeing versus the game film and everything else that it takes before you give a guy millions and millions of dollars. But there's always the chance that you could just fall in love with a guy because of his arm strength. And I love that you brought up the other point too, is like when guys decide not to throw. That's another interesting thing. This year alone, we had this tweet from Andy Staples, Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels, who are the top 3 quarterbacks on the mock draft boards. It sounds like none of those guys are going to throw, whereas you have a quarterback like Anthony Richardson or Will Levis can really go and wow with their arm strength, get up there and become a top 10 pick. You know, it's just, you got to know what you're looking at. You have to weigh things the right way. And the game film to me is what matters the most. But I don't know why we're not throwing without pads.
It just doesn't make sense. And Flaming Dragon, again, I'll use the baseball analogy, 2 things. It is the equivalent, in my opinion, some of y'all may disagree with me, and that's okay. It is legitimately like sending a baseball pitcher out there to pitch without a glove on. If you've ever pitched with a glove on and without a glove on, it is very, very different. It feels weird. It's borderline awkward. You would never go out there in a game and throw without a glove on. Not only that, there is no pass rush. You can run around and do all this stuff. It's like pitching without a batter. A lot changes when a batter steps into the plate. And again, if for fun, skills challenge, that's great. Walkthroughs, that's fine. But if you're making $1 million decisions based on a guy throwing without pads on, it's, again, very hard for me to trust you.
Well, I would say this. One, it's for, I'll never understand it, but it's for entertainment. It's a show. There's nothing real when it comes to drafting certain positions of players that you can get from this. Like when it comes to quarterback, I will say this. And I kind of got brought this up the other day. Guys' pads are getting a lot smaller each and every year. Hell, guys definitely don't wear knee pads, barely wear thigh pads, and hell, barely will wear shoulder pads at this point. So a skill position player, I can see it a little bit. When it comes to anything offensive lineman, defensive lineman, it's pointless. Quarterbacks, pointless. You have no pass rush, no pads on, no this, no that. It's a show, it's a drama, it's a woozy, it's a wazy, right? It's Matthew McConaughey is just floating in the air.
But guys make true evaluations. I want to ask, we need to get Jim Nagy on here and ask him legitimately, out of the 32 teams, what percentage look at guys throwing without pads on and say, well, that's going to be my final judgment when he throws at the combine? Not only that, I've got no problem running a 40 without pads. You want to set a baseline. This is how fast this guy is compared to the other guy, even though running is different with pads on as well, right? But David, you brought up the helmet point. That's another thing. Throwing without a helmet, even if you're not going to wear pads, it changes the way you look, your vision, the angles, the way you see things. There's just a lot, in my opinion, that if the goal, which I know it is to get the most efficient evaluation on how this guy's ability translates to in-game, which is what you're trying to find. That's Blue's Clues. That's Sherlock's Mystery. That's the Holy Grail. I don't understand why we do it this way.
Yeah, and if it really didn't matter, if these guys just want to have, hey, one last look in person, mostly just a meet and greet, but while you're here, why don't you go ahead and throw that 18-yard comeback to the field? Don't worry about pads and a helmet. You know, it won't matter. Just want to kind of meet you. Then that would be one thing. But guys, draft stock rises. I mean, do you guys think that Anthony Richardson would have gotten drafted as high as he did, or maybe even Will Levis, if they hadn't wowed at the combine and at their pro days? Pro day, we can...
Pro day's the same thing.
In with this, right? If they hadn't wowed with their arm strength and their athletic ability and physicality, and gotten drafted that high.
Yeah, well, look at a guy like Zach Wilson, again, who had an incredible pro day. You know, that was his big thing. You put a guy like Joe Milton out there that can throw it 8,000 yards, he's going to look good. But you put him in the game type situation, he can't throw the dig.
That's what I'm wondering. So when I'm seeing this tweet of these guys sitting out and Joe Milton's going to go out there and look like a Greek god, is his draft stock going to rise? Is he going to be a third round?
I'm sure he'll run around, spin out one time, which Joe Milton never does in the game, and throw it about 85 yards, just like the Manning Passing Academy. Dude hits a golf cart from 90 yards away. People start saying he's going to win SEC Player of the Year.
You remember Jamarcus Russell back in the day threw the, 75, maybe 80 yards from one knee? And it was all people could talk about.
I saw Jamarcus Russell do that before the Auburn-LSU game in 2004. I saw him from one knee. Yeah. It was insane. But that ended up being a hell of a game. But again, we want to know your thoughts. We're going to have live call-ins, 7:15 a.m. Central. That's 8:15 a.m. Eastern. That's when we're going to open the lines up. We'll have our buddy Barrett Sallee on. Going to get to the Booster Club. But first, look, it's March. All right, the madness is starting. Not only that, we got NHL. We got MLB coming down the pipe. Got NBA. College baseball is a whole hell of a lot of fun to bet on. And if you're going to bet, you need to bet online. Go to betonline.ag to place your bets for any of the smorgasbord, that's right, I use that word, and plethora of sports that we have going on. And if you use promo code BOOSTER, you get a 50% instant deposit bonus of up to $1,000. So if you deposit $1,000, you get $500 in bonuses. And that's betonline.ag, not this .com. There's no .gov. It's betonline.ag. Use that promo code BOOSTER. Fantastic stuff. It's a fantastic product. We're so happy to be partnering with those guys. Got some more surprises with them coming up. So go to betonline.ag. Use that promo code BOOSTER for a 50% instant deposit bonus of up to a stack. All right? That's 2024 language for $1,000. And also, we're going to put a link to merch in the chat. Really helps out the show. Really appreciate you guys, whether it's a hoodie, whether it's a candle, whether it's something else cool that I don't even know is on there yet, maybe a mug, something like that. You need to check it out. But let's get to the Booster Club.
All right, Booster Club, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. I'll read it. If not, I'll catch you at the end of the show. We're going to start this off with Tyler Dunnigan. All right, he just wanted to say, hey, fellas.
Hey, fella.
From South Korea.
Oh, wow.
Enjoying the show, guys. Keep it up. And go Vols.
Don't go north. Whatever you do, don't go north. Tyler, great to talk to you, buddy, from overseas. Speaking of Hawaii, had a couple Booster Club members in Hawaii reach out and say, you should have hit us up.
Dude, they're everywhere, man.
Yeah, everywhere. We're taking over. It's a Carmen Sandiego situation. Oh, I'm in California. Oh, it's Brian from Boston. Or maybe one of the 3,000 fans in Arkansas we somehow have.
Yeah, Arkansas.
You know,
big love.
Big love.
Let's go to Frank Minto. Frank, what is up? Why do we have the linebackers run the 40? I understand the 3-cone drill, but not the 40. Hashtag AskCNC.
I'm going to tell you, my father was an NFL linebacker, and he had the funniest anecdote. And his father before him. He had the funniest anecdote about linebackers. What Pat Dye told him one time. They were talking about running the 40. And he said, son, if you have to run 40 yards to catch somebody at middle linebacker, I don't want you. And it's true. Yeah. The cone, Frank's 100% right. The cone drill to me is vastly. Now it's different when you have guys that maybe, guys you walk down the box, down safeties, not true linebackers. But we're talking about Mike and Will. That cone drill, that means a lot more to me than the 40-yard dash does, even though our guy Peyton Wilson absolutely lit it on fire yesterday in the 40. Ran I think he ran 4.45 and then 4.49. And we got some clips of some guys. No, you're exactly right, Frank. You know ball. Certified ball knower. You love to see it.
While we're talking about it, can you bring up the Tom Brady 40? I saw this yesterday.
Did he run faster now?
Tom Brady, I think this is the footage on top of each other, right?
Yeah, I believe
so. When he was 22 at the Combine, we have the famous 40-yard dash of him when he ran 5.28, right? 2 decades later, at 42 plus, he runs 5.12.
Let's play it.
Still slow, Tom.
Let's play it.
Hey, he's improved, though. He's better than his
Here you go. So you can see it right here. If you're on audio, you got to go on video and check this out.
Oh, this is cool.
Does this start the comeback again?
Oh.
Is this the thing that opens the door to Tom Brady? The only one that can take down Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. The question is, where would he go? Now, obviously not the Jets, right, with A-Raj there. Where does he go? Not San Francisco. You think San Francisco?
Home, San Francisco.
No way.
Back home.
After Brock Purdy just took him to the Super Bowl, if there's one person, and no San Francisco 49ers fan would be upset about that at all if Tom Brady came back and was the quarterback.
Denver?
I don't know. This creaks the door. All of a sudden, you look, Giselle's out here hooking up with jiu-jitsu, specialists and stuff like that.
No one's safe.
Nobody's safe out here from Tom. The comeback tour, part 2. What does he say? What is it? Flaming Dragon on Tropic Thunder. Speaking of Flaming Dragon,
who left the fridge open?
He's like, what's his name? Tug Speedman. But what's the name of the movie that he's in when they're doing the preview?
Scorcher. Yeah.
Scorcher 6.
Who left the fridge
open again?
All right, let's go to Chad Moreland. Chad, what is up? The Combine and its numbers is nothing more than a beauty contest. Miss America and beyond and beautiful for a week to win her contest. But after that, she could be a movie star or settle down with a family, or she might just end up being fat.
Yeah, well, it could happen. I'm not saying the Combine is useless. I don't want people to confuse that. I'm not saying it's useless. I'm saying the way we go about it, it's just not efficient, right? It's just, again, if we're going for the true eval, the best way to find out who translates the most, the Senior Bowl, without a doubt, is worth its weight in gold compared to the Combine to me. Some guys can go out there and run. There's been guys that have ran like 4.28, 4.3, but it's like the kid from the Mighty Ducks. You may be able to skate really fast, but you can't stop.
Yeah.
Like, football is not track. That's why guys like Tyreek Hill and them are so freakish. That's why I consider them football players that could also run track. It is a totally different situation. And I think running with the ball in your hand, timing that, right? We have guys that now we put miles per hour on their pads. And we know some guys run faster in pads, right, than others who may run faster without pads. So it's a totally different animal. The 40, okay, we're setting a baseline. I can understand that. The vertical jump, okay, I can understand that. Obviously, you don't want to bench press with full gear on. But outside of that, going through drills, dropping, going through bags, put the full pads on. I want to see if you can bend with those pads and that helmet on. It's a totally different animal.
All right, let's go to Farmer Jake, 19, said the Combine should be full gear. If you're good at what you do, it should matter. Time for the NFL to grow up.
But listen, if anybody knows about a Combine, it's a farmer. So there you go.
All right, let's go to Kevin T. Kevin, what is up, my guy? He says, okay, my son convinced me the NFL Combine is Senior Bowl Part 2. It's just a place for NFL meet and greet the incoming class.
It's what did I end the open with? The best evaluation you get out of the NFL Combine right now, with the way it is, in my opinion, is the mental side of it, right? And until Senior Bowl Part 2, from a meeting standpoint, I think getting to know the guy, and that's a big deal. The mental aspect, to quote Yogi Berra, 90% of the game is 100% mental. I know he's talking about baseball, but for me, that's a rule in sports in general. Being able to sit down and talk to the guys is obviously very, very important. But from the physical aspect, I stand where I stand.
I was going to Blaine's bucket step with a $5 donation. Trust me, I got a nice bucket step on me. Says, please explain why we need 350-pound humans to run a 40-yard dash.
It's, to me, out of all the stuff, out of all the things that happen at the Combine, complaints aside, I don't care about the 5'9" slot receiver running the 40. It's cool. Mm-hmm. I want to see T'Vondre Sweat.
Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, we should have the clip. 366 pounds.
5'2".
Running a in other places, they just call that a train. Like, that's what it is. You had Braden Fisk yesterday from Florida State, a guy who looked fantastic at the Super Bowl, ran 4.78. I want to see the big guys run. The kid from Texas, I believe, not Sweat. They had another big guy run. It's just that blew it out of the water. Watching the big guys run is the most amazing thing to me, because watching somebody that big move that fast, because you don't really see that, because how many times are you seeing the straight line speed of T'Vondre Sweat? He's over.
Yeah, a lot of people think like the receivers and corners and safeties are the most athletic people on the field, but I promise you, some of these linemen are
look at Joe Alt.
Are freaky athletic.
I mean, for perspective, T'Vondre Sweat running 5.28 at 366 pounds is a tenth of a second faster than the initial Brady 40.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Just think about that. And I know Tom, he eats leaves like Littlefoot from The Land Before Time, and he's very good about his diet. That's why he's able to do what he does. But it's like when Terrence Cody used to do things for Alabama, like at that size. I was like, how is this human being?
It's just fun watching
huge
big guys do stuff.
Well, it just makes me.
I go back to like high school. Like, look, I was really lucky, won a lot of state championships, but that's not what I remember. I remember on the linemen doing one-on-ones, receiver routes. They would walk them. Right? Did y'all ever do that back in the day? The linemen would walk one-on-ones. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life to this day.
Well, listen, when I'm watching, Our Planet or any of these animal shows on Netflix, I don't want to see the mongoose and the ferrets fight. I want to see the bears fight each other. I want to see the biggest animal run the fastest. That's if we're going to look at it from a Nat Geo standpoint. So, again, I think that's the most impressive thing. And we have some clips of some of these big guys running as well that would absolutely blow your mind. All right, one more, and then I want to get to react.
Let's go to Kirk McMillan with the $20 donation. Kirky, appreciate it, brother. He says, first round of post-show drinks on me, fellas.
Let's do it.
David should order a light beer. So fat.
So fat. Disgusting. Disgustingly fat.
All right, we got a Brian Hall with a $20 donation. Brian,
wow, I'm
going to attempt to read this. It's not going to go great. You know what you did.
Is it a name thing?
Jake, I believe you were in Hawaii.
Yes.
What's your favorite Israel Kiana Kamakawawa old song?
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite Hawaiian songs is the Kawalele Alakahana by John Cruz with a Z.
That's probably
I'm going to Oahu in May. Blaine, I hope you had fun. Brian, I hate you.
Hey, first off, Brian, thank you. I would say my favorite Hawaiian song is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And that's what he made famous, man.
Yeah.
Brought that back out. I heard that he woke up, he was practicing that and called the recording
Called the
studio
radio
at 3
station
a.m. or something.
and said, I have to play
You heard
this
that
song.
too?
Yes. And they were like,
Wild.
Okay, goes in there. What does Oh Boy drop with a ukulele?
Yeah.
Mr. Peanut Butter Cup dropping Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Buttercup.
Great movie. By the way, I got to call somebody out real quickly before we get into this. I saw this list yesterday, and as an Adam Sandler fan, this list was disgusting. Okay. All right, Book It Sports. All right, they had a social media post that said we went deep in our bag for this one. It's the best Adam Sandler movie odds. Happy Gilmore's at -140. Mm-hmm. All right, you have The Waterboys at +175.
Great
to me,
value.
that should be
That's
number one.
way too high of odds.
That's absolute cap. You have Billy Madison at +200. Grown Ups at +275. Big Daddy at +800. Who's making y'all's list? Right? How is Big Daddy not higher than that?
What would you?
I don't see anger. Where's anger management at? It's not even on. You got Click at +300.
I'm going to be honest.
Straight to prison.
I love Click.
It's a great movie,
Hilarious.
but is Click better than
What's
anger
our thought on
management?
50 First Dates?
I don't know if 50 First Dates is on here.
Huh?
That's the thing is it's
Not on here.
It's about which is the most likely to be the number one, right?
You've got
why Happy Gilmore
Hubie
is minus
Halloween on here and no anger management. That's discussed straight to jail.
I love Waterboy at +175.
To me, Waterboy should be number one. It should be Waterboy.
It's a pick'em to me. 1 and 2.
That and Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, let's get to reactions.
All right, reaction time. Let's break down the NFL Players Association annual report cards where all of the players on a team, they give grades out for the franchise in the categories of treatment of families, food cafe, nutritionist, locker room, training staff, weight room, strength coaches, team travel, head coach, and owner, and then they get an overall score. The Miami Dolphins came in at number 1, nothing less than an A- in every category. The Commanders were last, not surprising, still recovering from having Dan Snyder as an owner. But next to last, the back-to-back Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid got an A+ as head coach, but no other category got above a C+.
This is insane.
It's
to
crazy.
see the amount of success the Chiefs have had. Treatment of families, D+. I blame Jackson Mahomes and Brittany Mahomes for that one. Nutritionist, F. Locker room, F. Are we talking about just what's in there?
They said they were promised new facilities after winning the Super Bowl, and they didn't get it.
They lied to him?
And the Chiefs were like, we went too deep in the playoffs, and we couldn't renovate.
Hey, we're broke. We had to give Patrick all the money. Let's see. You got...
But that's a good point. You're talking about Patrick.
Training staff, F. Yeah. Owner, F-, probably because of what you just said.
Yeah, they gave Lamar Hunt an F-. I mean, they have the highest paid coach in the league, right? and the highest paid player at $500 million in the league. So they take care of their players and they win. Meanwhile, the rest of these organizations, congrats, you have a nice locker room. The Dolphins haven't been to a Super Bowl since 3 years before I was born.
Chiefs are about to be highest paid coach.
Yes.
Highest paid quarterback, highest paid coordinator.
Is that right?
Bags, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And probably the highest paid defensive player.
Out of
they keep
and with Chris
Look,
Jones. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Chris Jones.
Out of all this, there's one thing to me that I just cannot
I think I know what you're talking. I think I know exactly.
And I need T-Bob Hebert.
It's the Saints.
I need Blake Ruffino. I need Mincy and everybody involved in that is a New Orleans Saints fan. Not saying it's your fault, Alex Stein. I need y'all to just hold my hand and explain this one to me. How in God's name does the Saints cafeteria get an F?
It's impossible. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Did they spit in the food or something? That's impossible. Hell, you could just order out Cafe Du Mont every time and end up with an A. Mm-hmm. How does that make sense? That's like the Seahawks giving the coffee an F. It just doesn't make sense. I need somebody to explain that one to me. Just like the combine thing. But it's really interesting. You look at the Cowboys D+ training staff. I thought that was kind of interesting. The Dolphins getting all A's. Y'all's ass better win.
Got to.
Like, y'all better win. You're taking an all-A report card home to mommy, but yet still not graduating? How does that make sense? What are you doing on a Friday night, big guy? Those are the real questions. So
I still don't know how we have an F at all for a weight room in the NFL.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Well, the Falcons was egregious in that standpoint in Atlanta.
Like, how bad could they be?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not just talking about the weight room. I'm talking about, like, this is your job. Like, go do your job.
God, the Chargers. Listen to the Chargers. F, B, F, D+, C+, D+, C+, D minus B, C+. That's Flamin' Dragon's whole report card.
Yeah, this is giving me bad memories.
Hey, but new sheriff in town with the Chargers, though.
Yeah.
Jimmy H.
Turned around.
Himmy. We'll see.
Himmy Harbaugh.
Spanos is like, we gave Jim all the money.
Yeah, sorry.
Jim and Justin, got all the money.
You want a smoothie machine.
No, this was an interesting find, David. I like that. I think maybe we should start a segment called Things Sports Fans Never Say. I think maybe it should just be like...
I like that.
Be like, man, Devondre Sweat looks real thin out there. Just stuff like that.
2 more reactions here. First one up. Something changed with Mark Cuban. I used to be a big Mark Cuban fan. I don't know what's happened. Flamin' Dragon, you and I were talking about this. This is just his latest statement here on a podcast talking about Elon Musk's Twitter. Can we run this?
X is just such a cesspool now. It's a shithole, right? You can't win no matter what. Everything, like, less time. Elon fucked that shit up, right?
Badly.
He fucked that shit up. But, Instagram's still chill, TikTok's still chill, and there's other places, right, that aren't so bad where you can mess with people and have fun. But you just can't do it on Twitter.
This X conversation is important because, as the conversation around, like, real radical free speech continues to, like, carry on here, I mean, that's kind of what you have there.
First off, when has Twitter not been a cesspool? Ever since it's been around, that's what social media is. It's a cesspool all around. Look, here's where I'm at with Mark Cuban. I think Mark Cuban's bored. I think he's bored. I really believe that. I think he's so rich. These guys just get bored and they just want to make news, right? Oh, Jeff Bezos wants to go to space. Oh, Richard Branson wants to go to space. Why does everybody want to go to space? Anyways, I just, listen, when it comes down to it, I'm just a big J.J. Barea guy to the Mavericks. I root for everybody in the NBA that's under 6'3". Mark Cuban talking about this. I like Mark Cuban in Shark Tank, right? I just think he's rich and bored. Rich and bored.
What do you say, Dragon?
Well, I mean, what it sounds like is when Mark Cuban hates free speech.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like to me, and it sounds like you can't win an argument because you're the smartest dumb guy probably on Twitter.
Well, he likes messing with people on the other side.
Yeah, well, like
but if they respond.
Yeah, like don't dish it if you can't take it, but that's Mark Cuban.
Well,
that's who he is now. The guy has fallen off a cliff. First of all, if we're ever getting into the business of listening to Logan Paul, Mark Cuban, and whatever that sloth is next, then we're in trouble. Then we are in trouble.
I don't know who that is. Yeah, listen, I don't take what... If I want to start a business or pitch a business idea, okay, Mark Cuban. But outside of that, I could care less about what Mark Cuban. I just think guys get super rich and bored. But yeah, anytime you use the term radical free speech,
Radical. It's so
radical free speech.
Because he can't win an argument.
Yeah. Nah.
He likes it better.
But hey, Instagram's chill. Have you been on Instagram?
Yeah.
If that's your argument, that argument's trash.
All right, last reaction here. Our director Jonesy sent us this one. Former Georgia Tech head coach Paul Johnson had some choice words for his successor, Jeff Collins. And full disclosure here, I really like both of these guys. I shadowed Coach Paul Johnson when he was at Georgia Southern. I was in middle school. And then Jeff Collins is a big fan of the show. We've gone out to Georgia Tech practices when he was still the coach there. But I guess Jeff Collins...
New DC at North Carolina?
New defensive coordinator at North Carolina over there for Mac Brown. I guess Jeff Collins said some things when he took over at Georgia Tech that rubbed Paul Johnson the wrong way. And he came out. Do you want to read this graphic?
Yeah, this is Paul Johnson on Jeff Collins on the Bill Shanks radio show. I got no respect for the guy. I can say what I want. This sounds like South Park. He went in and distorted everything that was there and acted like we had not won a game and lied about who he inherited, lied about the offensive line, and lied about us not going to the high schools in Georgia. Okay, here's where I'm at on this. Number one, at least where I'm from, that first line, that's hey, next time we see each other, you know, I'm going to have to get in your face. We're going to have to figure this out. Because you got no respect for me as a man. That's a little bit of a different. It'd be different if he's like, listen, I don't like the way the guy went about stuff, you know, whatever, line, which I like guys being honest. But here's what I will say. I've never met Paul Johnson before. I've heard nothing but good things about Paul Johnson. Triple option was nasty with him, right? They did win a decent amount at Georgia Tech. But I do know Jeff Collins. And we went and did, when we were doing the J-Boy show, a live show from a practice at Georgia Tech. And the offensive line was small. I remember specifically looking at it. This was right when he took over. They were very, very, very small. And you were going from a triple option system to a more modernized, quote unquote, kind of spread system that Georgia Tech was running. You had, 12 running backs on scholarship? You had to totally flip that roster. So was Paul Johnson maybe a little bit butthurt about some of the things Jeff Collins was saying? Now, the high school thing in Georgia, I don't know enough about that. I never heard Jeff say anything about that. I don't think Paul would make that up. But there is obviously some serious animus between Paul Johnson and Jeff Collins. But I can just tell you from being there and seeing the offensive line that Jeff Collins inherited, I mean, they were one step away from the Lollipop Guild. So So
what do you make? I mean, Brent Key at least was able to put together a winning season post Jeff Collins. Do you think, Jeff Collins would have been able to figure it out eventually if he had stayed on there?
I want to say yes, because I do think Jeff is a good football coach. Do I think, what does figuring it out mean? Does it mean that they start winning 8 games every year? I think they would have been.
The post that I saw this from was basically like, hey, Paul Johnson was winning at Georgia Tech before Jeff Collins, and Brent Key's been able to win after Jeff Collins.
And that's
putting
a logical
lot of blame
argument
on Jeff Collins. And again, this stuck out to me because I like the guy so much, but I like Paul Johnson as well. I was just really hopeful maybe this is a misunderstanding somewhere and some things Jeff Collins
I don't know, man. That feels...
But, when you got no respect for him...
That's a totally different thing. Yeah. Like, obviously, somebody's feelings got hurt. Like, why are you running your mouth about me? You're obviously saying things... It seems like to me that Paul Johnson is saying that Jeff Collins used Paul Johnson as an excuse for not winning. That's what it pretty much sounds like to me. Now, all the different aspects that hit, but you got no respect for the guy, that's a different way to put it. That's wild. But, all right, let's get back to the Booster Club before we get Barrett Sallee on here.
All right, let's go to Christopher Walton. Chris, what is going on, my guys? Let's be honest. Paul Johnson had Tech in the Orange Bowl at one point.
Yeah.
Jeff Collins had done nothing.
I want to go back and see Paul Johnson's last couple of years. Off the top of my head, obviously there was a reason that a change was made. But I do remember that, the memories I have of Georgia Tech being at their best is still with Paul Johnson there. And they did run a different style, and maybe that's one of the reasons that they were able to do it. They would hit every, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, whatever it was. But look, at the end of the day, it's about winning. And Paul Johnson won at Georgia Tech a lot more than anybody
Paul
else.
Johnson's tenure. It started in 2008 at Georgia Tech. 9-4, 11-3, 6-7, 8-5, 7-7, 7-6, 11-3. That's when they won the Orange Bowl. 3-9, 9-4. 5-6, 7-6. That was his last year. Jeff Collins, 3-9, 3-7, 3-9, and then he was let go after he went 1-3, and Brent Key went 4-4, and then Brent Key last year went 7-6.
Dang. So, I mean, Paul, it was back and forth, but Paul Johnson did have a winning record this last year. That's tough, man. You didn't get over 3. Jeff didn't get over 3. Well, you know what? And it's Jeff Collins' first big-time head coaching job. Now he's back being the DC at North Carolina. Look, you learn more the more you ride the bike, right? Yeah. There's been a lot of examples. I mean, look at Raheem Morris. Just got hired by the Falcons. It was an absolute disaster when he was a head coach the first time in the NFL. Second time, let's see how it goes.
Jeff Collins' tenure as a first-time head coach, he was having to navigate COVID, too.
Yeah.
That's one thing to keep in mind.
What was he, Jeff Collins at Temple? Again, Georgia Tech was the first Power 5, obviously, head coaching job.
Oh, yeah, he was the coach at Temple before that.
I know he obviously won it.
He was 15-10 at Temple.
15-10.
In 2 seasons.
Yep. So from a Power 5 standpoint, that was his first big gig. Hopefully he goes to North Carolina, balls, gets another chance, and goes and does. I'm rooting for the guy. He's the only Jeff I know. It's the Jeff starts with a G, so I'm rooting for him.
Yes, so Let's go to Michael from Texas. Mike, what is up? He says, don't worry about the Chargers, boys. Jim Harbaugh's about to come in and fix that entire place.
Well, is it going to take 40 years? I mean, that's the question. In the NFL,
with the Niners,
you can flip it a lot faster. Look, I do think it's a new era for the Chargers, and you better hope, because let me read you the Chargers grades real quick. F, F, B, F, D plus, C plus, D plus, C plus, D minus, B, C plus. Lot to work on.
Mama's talking to the teacher after that one.
Let Mama come in and brush your hair.
Yeah, and wait till and she hits you with the wait till Dad gets home.
No.
Which is like, how great of an actor can I be to pretend to be asleep? Which never worked.
It never did work.
It's like, why are you asleep at 6:15?
Also, are we getting It's Mid today?
Are we? Hey, but y'all boys said y'all tell me where to go.
Right. Well, you know what? Ring the bell, David.
Huh?
Ring the bell.
Are we doing this right now?
Yeah, we're starting now.
Okay, good.
It's
all right,
mid. Tell us
back.
what's mid, baby. Yes.
I'm not going to say his government name, but
cool. I'll move it.
One of the greatest segments in the history of the world. Hey, you put in the work. I got no respect for the guy. The segment is back by popular demand. It's not good.
Y'all asked for it.
It's not bad. It's mid. Flaming, your thoughts on its mid returning?
Mixed feelings.
Really?
You need help with that?
The one thing about it, there's always something to talk about when it's mid. But sometimes I just forget.
Let's give them something.
What I've done. Oh, people, we are back. We are back, and it feels good. Welcome to It's Mid.
Yes. Drum roll.
First up, it's going to upset a lot of people, but to tell you the truth, I don't care. Mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Okay, bad start.
It's mediocre. That's what it is. This is what you do. And I don't know how you do it. I know how to feel about it. You go to wherever, Publix, wherever you get your ice cream, you look at chocolate. Delicious. Cookie dough. Mwah! Mwah! Vanilla. I'll do it. But no. Let me buy a big tub of frozen toothpaste. That's what you're doing. You're buying the only thing that should taste like mint are gum, mouthwash, and toothpaste. Not your dessert, you freaks, including him. Next
it's a great
up,
ice cream.
Russell Wilson. And look.
I won a Super Bowl.
Well, so did Trent Dilfer. Seeing Russ fall from greatness has been tragic. And to me, beautiful at the same time. You know why? Because nobody's that nice. Nobody is that nice. He is hiding something.
No, that's fair.
He is hiding something, and I will find out what it is. All right? An extra toe. A cleft lip.
A person.
Being a Democrat. He's hiding something. All right? Him and Sam Hartman. And we'll find it. Trust me. Next up, pretty self-explanatory, the Ukrainian government. You can't trust them. You can't trust them, and we all know it. All right?
Mint chocolate chip ice cream, Russell Wilson, and the Ukraine.
It matters. All right? The next one will blow your mind, too. Look at me. Avocados.
Oh, look, you convinced me.
Go ahead.
You're eating baby food.
Go in, son.
You're eating baby food.
Make that face at him, dog.
Texture, terrible. Taste, terrible. Just because Tom Brady eats it doesn't make it good.
Please.
It doesn't make it good. Are you a child? Did you put on pull-ups this morning? All right? All right? You're eating baby food, applesauce. Grow up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula. Another one, Pete Davidson. I don't get it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't get it. First of all, he looks like he's dead. How's he moving around? Can we investigate into that? 2, his acting sucks.
He's an actor?
I guess. 3, how's he pulling all these hot chicks?
I got an idea.
Look.
PRT.
Game respects game, but it feels like an Illuminati situation to me. And that's the truth. Next up, horror movies.
What?
I don't know why you'd purposely want to scare the shit out of yourself.
Yeah.
Who signs up for that?
I can't argue that.
Who signs up for that? Not me.
I don't like horror movies.
Last 2, all right? Original Cheez-Its, they're trash. Mid, if you get the white cheddar, I can talk to you.
I can get behind that.
Regular cheese?
I will
all
stand
right?
with you on
And the
that.
next one, if you eat Scrapple, you should be arrested.
Okay, it's done.
Yes.
Segment over.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Outside
you.
of the mint chocolate chip, I thought
Segment
that was
over.
beautiful.
Thank you.
God, I
Thank
love
you.
that
Thank you.
segment. Very interested to see what the booster got. I'm interested to see what Barrett Sallee thinks.
Look,
about
I have
mint
to be
chocolate
honest.
chip ice cream.
You started and finished terribly.
Wow.
The middle was so strong.
You're a mint
So
chocolate
strong.
chip guy?
The Russell Wilson one was great.
The middle
Nobody is that
The
nice.
middle was so strong.
Nobody really is that nice.
No.
What is he hiding?
He's hiding something.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he take a lie detector?
Why don't you take a lie detector test, Russell Wilson?
All right.
Barrett Sallee.
Before we get Barrett on here, let's go to the Booster Club real quick. I want an instant reaction from its mid.
Jack Hogan, $5 donation. Flaming Dragon needs to include Long Beach State Washington baseball game ending because of curfew.
Yeah, that was
6-6 tie going
Yeah.
to the 16th inning, and they called it.
This is America. You either win or you lose. This tying stuff, that's for France, man.
Okay, C. Parker, Flaming Dragon is being generous with Pete Davidson. He's not mid. He's terrible.
He's the only guy.
only way, like the reason he's mid to me, because his roster.
Oh, it's insane.
Is it
It's
real?
elite.
It is
real?
elite.
It's elite.
It's like MGK. I don't get it. Megan Fox, right? You're with Skeletor? Or it looks like the guy. Pete Davidson looks like he could play the real life version of the skeleton the night before Christmas.
True.
All right, let's go to Tristan Tutsy. Let's be honest, mint chocolate chip is not even close to mid. It's elite.
God, Tristan, whisper those sweet names. On that note, let's bring in new sports contributor to Outkick. He does football smothered and covered, which every time I bring him on makes me want to go get an all-star special from Waffle House when I say those two words together. He's a Braves fan, too. So this guy's checking all the boxes. Our buddy Barrett Sallee. Barrett, mint chocolate chip ice cream, yay or nay?
All right. So I've been taking notes with what Blaine said. So I've got takes as well.
Yes.
Please.
First of all, mint chocolate chip ice cream is like on the totem pole, the lowest in terms of ice cream.
But it's still ice cream.
Here's what I said.
It's still ice cream.
Here's the disclaimer.
Radical free speech.
We're talking about like $50 steaks or beer. Like none of them are bad. Right?
Thank you.
None of them are terrible, but mint chocolate chip, like that is the worst of the. Who eats mint? Who wants mint in their ice cream? That is disgusting.
Disgusting. Toothpaste, Barrett.
Pete Davidson does suck. I don't understand that. Megan Fox, Transformers Megan Fox. I'm with that. Now, today's version, I'm not sure. Russell Wilson, I believe in Russell Wilson. I think he is that nice.
Really?
So those are my I think I have a couple more. What was the last one? Blaine,
Scrapple.
No, before that. The one before that. I missed it.
Probably original
Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its. How dare you, Blaine? How dare
This
you
makes
not
Get him.
original
Get him.
Cheez-Its. Now, let me tell you, here's a secret. Cheez-Its with white cheese dip from a Mexican restaurant. Now, that is an unknown hack to the Cheez-It world.
Okay.
That is just cheese on top of cheese. Hey, here's what I'll say. You keep just saying mint. There's chocolate chip in there. It balances the mint out.
The mint takes
y'all
away
are
from
acting like
disrespectful.
No, it doesn't. It adds to the chocolate chip. It adds to the chocolate chip. Do you like peppermint bars? Does anybody like peppermint
listen,
I
bars?
love
here's the
peppermint
thing.
bars.
If you put like chocolate syrup on it, it makes it even worse. And if chocolate syrup makes ice cream worse, then that tells you all you need to know about that ice cream.
It's like pizza. There's no bad. Well, ice cream is like pizza. It's all good.
No,
right? So it can't be mid.
100%.
Maybe it would be the last one.
Yeah, it's
It
like
can't be mid.
kind of like mid to high. Like,
Well, here's the worst ice cream without a doubt is birthday cake flavored ice cream. I think we should all agree on that. It's an awful taste.
Agree?
It's
I
an
agree.
awful taste.
And here's the thing too. My kids, they're 12 and 8. They absolutely love it. And when they like don't finish, that's the greatest thing about going to like an ice cream store, right? Because the kids don't finish, so you just get the leftovers.
For
but
sure.
When they have leftover Superman or whatever it is, birthday cake, I'm like, I mean, all right, I'll eat it. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, you could have done better.
Well, I'm
That's
going
just
to ask
bad parenting.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It's just like, Liam Neeson from Taken. At the end of the day, you're just a bad parent. I'm going to ask you about adults rollerblading here at the end. But, David, there was some news that came out. We can't even get to 12 teams.
No.
We can't even get to the 12-team playoff. Now it's going to be 14. Not only that, so explain to the people, the SEC and the Big Ten, just explain to them they want automatic buys. Explain to them
we didn't have the 12-team playoff for about 8 hours before they're already figuring out the 14-team playoff for the 2026 and beyond season, I believe it is, Barrett. So the SEC and the Big Ten, they want 3 automatic qualifiers apiece, but then they also want their conference champions to have the first-round bye in a 14-team playoff. Again, keep in mind we haven't even played one season of the 12-team playoff. Can you explain it to us, please?
Yeah, the way to explain it is that college football decision makers hate you. They absolutely hate you because here's the thing. In all of this discussion, they talk about access, they talk about revenue, and they talk about governance. There are some words that are omitted that should be included. I don't know, like champion, like excellence, like settling it on the field. All of these people that said, you know what, this is great, they're going to settle it on the field. No, they don't care. And I said this in my show, College Football Smothered and Covered, yesterday. It could be Pip farting on a snare drum out there for an Airheads reference. Good movie. They don't care what that is. All they see is green, which is a shame because the original intent of the +2 system, which is what they talked about before, or the 4-team playoff, the 12-team playoff, they told us that it was all about finding a champion, and they don't care. And the format of this tells you all you need to know with 3 SEC and Big Ten automatic bids, 2 Big 12 and ACC, and 1 group of 5. This is all about access. And when they see that word, when they see access, they see money. And I'm really, really disappointed in Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti because last month when they announced this alliance that, they're going to look toward the future of college football, I was like, cool. Like, I know those guys. I know Greg Sankey very well. I honestly thought that he was going to lead the charge in making a more uniformed and a more harmonious sport. And now he's destroying it along with Tony Petitti because still, he's looking out for his own conference. Now, that's his job. I get that. But I thought that Greg Sankey had a bigger vision. And it turns out he doesn't. Tony Petitti doesn't. It sucks for college football. And in no way, shape, or form do they even care about the actual national championship. There is, and they're telling you. That's the thing, is like they're not even hiding it. Like they're flat out telling you they don't care.
Well, Barrett, number one, let's start with the proposed idea. I don't think there should be, you should not automatically, because of the conference you're in, receive a bye. I get that there's a Power 4 conference now. Whoever wins that conference, we don't know what team that's going to be. But my problem is with the buys. That's like saying, all right, well, before we start the NCAA tournament in March Madness, whoever wins the ACC is automatically a 1 seed. Yeah. Now, it's a lot of times, the craziest part about this is most likely it's going to work out like that. You don't even have to have that rule to see if whoever, wins the SEC or blase, they're going to be one of those top 4 teams. Most likely, the way we have it right now with the 12, that 5th automatic seed is going to be a group of 5 conference, right? The odds of that being the Big Ten are very, very low. So I don't think you have to bake this in. I think it'll work itself out. When it comes to the 14 team, here's where they're going to run into a problem, Barrett, because it's all about optics and perceptions and verbiage. The more they expand this playoff, and to me, this is the most dangerous thing that's happening in college football, because the on-the-field product is better than it's ever been. I think they're banking on that. They're looking at the amount of money and the revenue that they're making. That's only going up, so they're going to try and get as much juice out of the squeeze as possible. But where they're going to run into a problem is all I've heard y'all talk about is player safety, player safety, player safety. That's what it's about. CTE, guys, we're practicing too much, we're tackling too much in practice. But here, let's add more games where you actually physically do the act of hitting each other the hardest. Let's add more games to the postseason, which means what? You can't add more games to the regular season because that goes against the narrative of player safety. Where I'm afraid, Barrett, is they're going to start eating into the regular season, either saying And I don't think they're going to cut out conference championship games because they make too much damn money. So they're going to start cutting down regular season games. That's the problem I have, because I think the college football regular season is the best regular season in sports, even though after what they did to Florida State last year. That's a story for another day. That's what scares me. But with Greg Sankey, and it's my final point, Barrett, with Greg Sankey, I'm sick of us acting like Greg Sankey really isn't running this. Like, I'm sick of us acting like like there's some guy. Tony Petitti is not making any decision. He's an 11-year-old. They're walking around Kroger showing him where the grocery store aisles are right now. That's the same reason he suspended Harbaugh without a notice of allegation. But at the end of the day, I know Greg Sankey is behind the decision-making this, and part of me thinks maybe deep down, he wants to get it to a point where they're like, you know what? We have to name a commissioner, and that commissioner is Greg Sankey. And then Greg Sankey comes in and saves it, right? So it's the arsonist becoming the firefighter? We need to stop acting like Greg Sankey isn't pulling some strings behind the scenes. The SEC is the big dog. The Big Ten's right behind them, but they got a boy king right now. So to me, it is Greg Sankey. We just need to go and make the dude the commissioner. Just give it to him, and let's fix it.
I could see that. I do think that he still has to sort of put on this guise of actually caring about the sport, even though he doesn't. And that's the problem, is I think right now he's making it clear that he doesn't really care about the sport overall. He only cares about the SEC and by extension, the Big Ten, because of that stupid alliance, which is a dirty word in college athletics. And so with the automatic bids, I've said that for years. Automatic bids are terrible for the sport. And I know folks will say, well, it works in every other sport. And I'd say, no, it doesn't work in every other sport. I think the college football world, they do it right because they judge the definition of excellence and what earns a national championship changes based on the regular season, based on how the regular season ebbs and flows. And then on Selection Sunday, the regular season basically puts a silver platter in front of the committee and says, hey, you guys figure it out. And look, I don't like that it's a committee. I'd rather go back to the BCS, because you mentioned cutting into the regular season, Jake. There are two terms that we didn't hear about in the BCS era: meaningful and meaningless, because everything was meaningful. In the regular season, it mattered. The bowl season mattered. The Heisman Trophy race mattered. Upsets mattered way more, even if they had nothing to do with the college football playoff race. And I fell in love with college football for a lot more than the national championship and who wins the BCS championship and who wins the Bowl Alliance championship. I like the pageantry. I like the fact that the 25th ranked team in the country could get upset by a 3-6 team and celebrate. I love watching that stuff. Unfortunately, they're trying to NFL CFB, and it's not what it's supposed to be. Yeah, it gets casual fans. Yeah, it gets money, which tells me they're not looking out for the sport, and that absolutely sucks, and I absolutely hate that. But yeah, to your point about automatic bids, not all conferences are created equal, and that goes back to judging the season based on the season and whatever it delivers to the College Football Playoff Committee. If you're going to tell me that even in a 4-team playoff or a 6-team playoff or an 8-team playoff or whatever, that a team that upsets a top-ranked team in the SEC championship game or the Big Ten championship game or whatever has the same ability and the same chance to win a national championship as an undefeated Power 5 show, that's insane. That is negating the entire regular season. And you're right. If they're going to have this big of a playoff, they are going to chew in and gobble up some of the regular season. And again, that's why I love the sport. That's why I feel like it's the greatest sport on earth. And unfortunately, they're trying to make it more like the NFL, and they're trying to make it more like the playoff and the postseason. And there's much, much more to the sport than just those things that casual fans seem to think are the greatest things in sliced bread.
Well, my question is, why can't we have both? Right? Why? To me,
because they care about money.
Well, I agree with that. But when I look at the playoff, I do think it does make the regular season more meaningful down the stretch. I think now that game between a 9-2 team, right, that is trying to backdoor their way into a 10 seed or an 11 seed or a 12 seed. Now that game against 4-8 or 4-7 Vanderbilt means a whole hell of a lot more than it did when we only had 4 teams going in the playoff. But I don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. I don't want to eat into the regular season the amount of games that we're playing, which means we're going to lose even more rivalry games than what we've already lost. And I know they're not going to add more games to the regular season. So my question is, why can't we just have both? Can we just, because I know the number's going to grow, David. It's not going to stay at 12. They're already talking about 14.
An expanded playoff's going to be a lot of fun. All of us are going to love it, right? I think most college football fans would be in favor of losing some of the regular season games that are against the FCS or the Group of 5 teams. Like, I don't need to see Alabama play Chattanooga. I just don't need to see that. I'd rather see an expanded playoff.
Well, I think we're going to get that with conference expansion, right, Barrett? Like, the more teams we add to the conference, now you've got to play more conference games. We're already going to go to a 9-game in-conference schedule in the SEC. So the only way I'd be fine with it if you went to 11, if it was 11 SEC games that you played against that competition. Maybe I could go for that, but I think we're going to start getting to where it's, hey, why are we playing 10 regular season games? That's what I worry about, Barrett.
2 points on that. One, I think when you talk about an 8 versus a 9 seed, potential 8 versus a 9 seed in mid-November, you're fighting for bids and buys. And that makes that game a little more intriguing, but it also means that a 9-3 team or a 10-2 team is going to earn a spot in the playoff, and they didn't earn it throughout the course of the regular season. So I would say that, Jake, your point about that game in and of itself in a vacuum absolutely would be bigger, but because it's bigger, it would take away from the regular season because there's no way in hell a 9-3 Ole Miss team deserves the same chance as an 11-1 Georgia team that loses the SEC championship game. They're not equal. Like they're flat out not equal.
Well, Barrett, we couldn't.
Hold on. And in terms of Alabama playing UT Martin or whatever, I mean, I understand. Again, sort of in a vacuum, that is not very intriguing. It doesn't provide a quality product to television. It doesn't, draw people into a community for hotel revenue or whatever. But on the flip side, those schools need that. Like that paycheck game.
No, that's not good enough for me. And I come from Statesboro, Georgia, Barrett. I come from Georgia Southern, where hey, they love to go get beat by Georgia by three or four touchdowns every year and get that check. That's not a good enough reason to me. I don't want to see Georgia play Georgia Southern.
It's not a good enough reason from a football perspective. But I damn well will tell you without a shadow of a doubt that swimming team loves that. And so it's not about football itself.
I get it.
It's about
and that's a whole conversation that's about to come about, which is like if we go to a collective bargaining agreement with the profit-driving sports, which is football and some basketball teams, the volleyball teams and the golf teams are going to be lost anyway, which is very unfortunate. And we had Tim Brando come on, and I said that was one of my favorite aspects of my collegiate experience. But some of these athletic departments that can't manage a budget and fiscally be responsible, like they're going to suffer the consequences.
Well, but here's the thing: you're taking opportunities away from Justin Thomas, who's one of the elite golfers in the country, was at Alabama and became. And
I don't want that to happen.
And you're taking opportunities not only to further his career and become a PGA golfer, but just simply earn a degree and become whatever he's going to become in the professional level. Like right now.
Well, he went to Alabama, so that's what I'm saying. So like Alabama playing UT Martin.
Okay, but here's the thing. I could have gone to Young Harris. I could have gone to Furman for baseball. I could have gone to Pepperdine, which I should have done because their baseball field is on the Pacific Ocean. But that's neither here nor there. It's really, I would never have lasted at Pepperdine. I'd be like, ocean, let's go surfing. But here's the thing, like. If you do away with that football, I don't even know if Pepperdine has a football program, but whatever. Let's just assume that it does. I would not have had that opportunity. And by that, if say I wanted to be a lawyer, they have a great law school. I would never have had the opportunity to do that because I wouldn't get a scholarship. So those games are boring on the field, but they are incredibly important to, I would say, millions.
I get it, but USC shouldn't play Pepperdine once a year just because some golfer can get a scholarship. That's where you need. Most of these universities have the trust funds built up. I mean, they have the endowments to be able to take care of stuff like that.
But this is what I was saying with the Dartmouth.
This is what I was saying with the Dartmouth basketball team. You want to unionize and demand compensation. You're not profit driving. So Dartmouth either needs to come out of their endowment to support that, or that basketball team can no longer exist.
Well, my thing is the players wanted this.
Thing is crazy.
The players wanted this. Like y'all wanted this. The players wanted this.
Because they're getting bad advice.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Welcome to the real world. Maybe we need to have more people learn from mistakes. I do want to say one thing too, Barrett. We talk about fairness. After what they did to Florida State with a 14 playoff, I don't want to hear a damn word about fairness or deserving to be in or any of that from any of these higher-ups in the college football world after they did that with Florida State. But it is a fascinating argument, and you can make a logical argument on both sides of said argument. That's why it's going to be fascinating to move it forward. But I will say, once we get into the college football playoff and these games are being played, we're going to be glued to the TV like a Gus is glued to a chocolate river.
Yeah, but their administrators hate you.
I mean, they already hate me. They already hate me.
All that they care about is that there are 22 people on that green grass or that green turf. They don't care which 22 people they are. I mean, like I said, again, like referencing Airheads, great movie. Do some homework if you haven't seen it. It could be Adam Sandler, who's known as Pip, farting on a snare drum out there. Just as long as he's out there, that's all that matters.
Well, it's like Colonel Parker said about Elvis Presley. You get that man on that stage, and everything's all right.
I understood that reference.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Barrett, we're going to go to Barrett. Where do you rank Airheads? Adam Sandler movie.
Okay, so I saw one of these graphics out there. It was on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah. The fact that it wasn't on there is just, I would say, it's just dreadful. I would say, honestly, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, it might be top 5.
Really?
Wow.
Really? They had Hubie Halloween on there, but didn't have anger management.
Stupid.
Like, are you for real? Big Daddy at plus crazy. 800? God, let me light myself on fire.
Airheads really isn't an Adam Sandler movie. It's just got Adam Sandler in it. So maybe that's the reason it wasn't on there. But, I mean, honestly, I watch a ton of comedy movies. I would say that's probably a top 10, top 15 comedy movie.
Yeah, but it's a subpar candy, and I think we can all agree on that.
All right, Christopher Walton wants to know, Barrett, will a 12 seed have similar success against a 5 seed like they do in college basketball?
Well, college basketball and college football, anytime that comparison is made, I kind of shake with rage because they're completely different. Yeah. Of course, a 12 seed and a 5 seed would have the ability to compete with each other. I think that's, look, again, the regular season. When a 12 seed plays a 5 seed, that's one of the biggest games of the year or the week. Game day goes there. Fox's show goes there. So, yeah, I mean, they'll have the ability to compete, but you'll be talking about a 9-3 team versus a 10-2 team. So, I mean, neither of those teams really deserve a national championship.
Let's go to Tristan Tussey. Tristan, what is up? Hashtag Ask Barrett. How much longer are they going to still have bowl games, Barrett? I think they're going to be gone soon.
Forever. Forever. You know why? Because a lot of people like to invest. And if you don't want to place an investment on a Tuesday night game in mid-December, that's fine. There are a lot of people who will.
Yeah.
And they are television shows. And they are very, very highly rated television shows. So they're going to go on forever.
Speaking about highly rated, Barrett, you're one of our very highest rated guests. One of our most highest. Why can I not get this wording right?
You got it. I believe
one of the most highest rated guests that we have. There we go.
There we go.
Barrett Sallee. Hey, first off, congrats, my friend. But tell everybody where they can find your work, and it's always fun getting you on here chopping it up.
I appreciate it. Just started writing for Outkick, so we'll be doing that for going on vacation to Disney World next week. So
let's go.
A little bit spotty for the next couple of weeks, but writing for Outkick, and then the podcast still got that going. College Football Smothered and Covered. You can get it YouTube, Rumble, Apple Podcast, Spotify, all those other places, and a tease. There's a team that's warming up in Florida right now that might be moving up to Truist Park in about a month or so. There might be some news on what I'm doing. With that coming up.
Ooh, I have some, Barrett. I want access really quickly.
Let's go.
Should adults rollerblade by themselves? Yes, no, or call the police?
Call the police. That's creepy.
Oh man, I thought you were going.
But Barrett, let me ask you: would it be worse if there was a bunch of guys rollerblading with each other?
No, I think that's okay. Like that's a workout. If you're doing it solo, that's a little weird.
Okay, I agree. So
I have some outro music for you.
Here we go. Play it as we. Oh, see you, Barrett. You love to see it.
Let's go, Phillies.
Barrett Sallee.
Philly.
All right.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah. Blaine's a Flyers fan. Communist.
I am.
Yeah, communist. All right. Barrett Sallee, thanks so much for joining us, my friend. You want to get to some phone calls here,
Let's
David?
get to some phone calls. Give me 1 second here. All right. First one up, Michael in Texas. Michael, talk to us.
Morning, guys. So if I heard that right, Big Ten and ACC 3 automatic qualifiers each. in a 14-team playoff. Did I hear that right?
Yep. And ACC and Big 12 would get 2 each, and then the group of 5 would get 1. Then you have at-large.
Yeah, 5, right? 5 at largest. 3, 2. Nope. That'd be 3 at largest.
3 at that point.
Okay, that's okay. So you already want almost half the entire playoff to just the 2. That doesn't make any sense to me. And I mean, anytime like you said, Jake, if they talk about fairness, I want to
hear anything about fairness.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
No, that just makes no sense. When I heard that, I was like, I don't know. I don't get that at all. But there was a burning question I've been wanting to ask you guys for a little while now regarding NIL. So some of these athletes are going to make money from NIL and all that stuff. As far as scholarships, and then we're talking about walk-ons. So does that mean the scholarship money could potentially go to the walk-ons then? So could that potentially eliminate walk-ons in general with NIL?
Well, here's why I don't think that's going to be feasible, because now it's like you're just adding scholarships, really, if we're going to call it that. Like if you have 10 guys that it doesn't go against your scholarship count because you get 85 scholarships on a roster. If we're going to say, you know what, NIL is going to pay for a scholarship for 10 of our players, and then we get 85 other guys on scholarship, that's 95 scholarships. Now, I tell you what would be a great idea. If I was a sports bar or restaurant, called Walk-Ons, I would maybe start an NIL deal with every big local university where I'm at, where we pay an NIL deal for a walk-on. But if we're going to start substituting, if we're going to have both NIL that can be used as a scholarship and then scholarships that can be used as a scholarship, you might as well just give out 125 scholarships.
I think walk-ons will for sure be affected somehow. I mean, I wrote about this 3 years ago in an article. Like, what happened if you have college athletes collectively bargain, right? Then walk-ons are going to have to be a part of that. How long are they going to look and say, wait, I don't get the healthcare advantages after I get done playing that a scholarship guy does, or I don't get the revenue that they're getting from the television rights? And you can say, well, you're being allowed to be on the team, and that's part of it. That's not going to.
Well, I wonder if the rev share goes to just the athletes, not the scholarship athletes, right? Because again, if you're a walk-on in the NCAA video game, you're still getting $600, right? So, I just wonder how.
I don't know. I think they have to opt in for that one.
You have to opt in, but I don't think it's like if you're. The rule is you're on the roster, but again, so you get the rev share?
The guys aren't interested in trading for a scholarship anymore, right? That when we were playing, it was like, hey, I'll trade me playing on the team, for you give me a scholarship. Now the academic component of this is going by the wayside. Now they want the money, they want the healthcare advantage, they want a collective bargain for whatever they can possibly get. How long are the walk-ons going to watch that? And for most sports, it doesn't matter a whole lot. But for football, you can't have a college football team without
that walk-on. Yeah, you can't survive.
Can't.
That's why it's so incredible what the NFL does with the rosters that they have. But you have a practice squad. That's a little bit of that's basically your version of the walk-ons. But Michael, great question, man.
No, yeah, thank you for that. Because I was thinking, like you said, I just lost my train of thought there for a moment, but because walk-ons, they're normally not like in NCAA football. There's no walk-ons in those video games to begin with. I think there's only enough for whatever the scholarships you can offer. I think, what was it, 25 per class or something along those lines?
Well, my whole point is if they're in the new game, like if you're going to have a legitimate roster, if it's going to be as close to real life as possible, then you've got to have that amount on the roster, which means you have walk-ons. That's the part I'm interested on, but not even from a video game standpoint. From the rev share standpoint, it may have never been more important to be in the team picture than right now. Because, again, if I'm the third string tight end, but I'm playing some, I'm going in there in certain packages, I'm going in there on field goal, do I get part of that rev share? Hell, I'm playing in the game.
Exactly.
I'm putting my ass on the line. So it's an interesting water to navigate.
Appreciate it, Michael.
Appreciate it, Mike.
All right, let's go to Steven here in Knoxville in our home state. Steven, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Platypus. How are you guys doing?
What's up, man?
Great, man.
Hey, so first of all, before I get to my question, I just want to say, with all the smoke about the Carolina Gay Club men's choir, I'm smelling a cover-up.
Yeah.
I think that Baltar and Flaming Dragon went to the Pride Night together and decided to concoct a plan to make it all about Jake.
I agree 100. And they gave each other a kiss on the cheek over beers.
Rule 1, never trust a platypus.
That's right.
Way to come in hot today, Steve.
No, Steven's 100% correct. 100% correct. It smells.
Shakespeare, methinks the dragon doth protest too much.
That's crazy because I think there's a cover-up going on between Steven and Jake.
Well, here's what I do know. There's 2 guys. There's 3 guys on this set, and 2 of them are married to women. So, and it ain't Flaming Dragon.
Perfect cover.
One of them, the first.
Perfect cover.
Yeah, the one of them starts, his name's Flaming. So go ahead and put those, connect those dots.
And the next one's Dragon.
Yeah, well, listen, it's 2024, bud.
God, I was going to say something.
All right, so to get to my question, I want to know what you guys think about with Dalton Connect, if he has a legitimate chance to win National Player of the Year this year, or do you think it's already basically been decided to go to Zach Edey?
Well, if Zach Edey wins it, he wins back-to-back National Player of the Year. When you look at the numbers, when you look at Zach Edey, it's like, hey, he got 20 points and 17 rebounds, which that's sexy, right? But you look at Dalton Connect, it's like he scored 39 points. Like he's averaging like 24 points a game in SEC play, which you can make an argument is the best conference in college basketball. I think either way. I don't think this is kind of a rare situation where you can't go wrong with either. I would understand either. But to me, we've seen Zach Edey in multiple NCAA tournaments. We've watched Purdue struggle in NCAA tournaments. I believe the voting for National Player of the Year is at the end of the regular season, not at the end of the NCAA tournament. I wish we'd do it at the end of the NCAA.
I agree with you. Dalton Connect's averaging 20.8 points a game.
That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah,
and he's white.
He's averaging more. Yeah, I think I saw somewhere he's averaging more against top 25 teams. Like
I think he's averaging almost 24 points a game in conference play. I mean, he's a cheat code. You can't guard him. You can't guard him.
Exactly. I think he's also a more complete player. I can send you a shot chart comparison between the two that I saw online somewhere. I'll send it on X over there. But, I mean, I think he's a much more complete player. Like, Zach Edey is much more paint-focused than Dalton Connect.
Well, I don't want Zach Edey out there running the point. I think if you're going to talk about complete player, maybe you're talking about offensively. I think Zach Edey overall is a better defender because he is 9'3". So, I mean,
he's
averaging
23.7 points and 11.8 rebounds per game. So 23 and 11. That his points are up from last year when he won Player of the Year. His rebounds are down slightly, but he's pretty much having a better year.
God, man, but you're 11 feet tall.
Yeah.
I don't know, but dude, there's a lot of goofy ass tall people out there walking around. Now, have I ever seen a 7-footer working at Wendy's? No. Right? Have I ever been bagging my groceries at Publix? Oh, why is Yao Ming's son, Mao Ping, 8'6" bagging my groceries?
And Ding Dong.
And Ding Dang.
With Ding Dang.
Yeah, that's exactly
Appreciate it, Steven.
Thanks, Steven.
Yeah, well, not really. Get off the phone, Steven.
All right, let's go to Angelo in Pennsylvania. Angelo, what's up?
Hey, fellas. How's it
going? Good, man. How's it going with you?
Friday.
Good. Sorry I haven't been able to call in a while. I dropped the baby off right in the middle of your show every day. But
I hope it's a soft landing.
Yeah, I've been meaning to call in to say that being from Pennsylvania, Scrabble is hot garbage. It is terrible.
Thank you. Thank you, Angelo.
What are you eating, man?
Angelo, beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate
it. To answer the question on here about what it is, when I was in college, how I explained it to people was you take whatever's left over from hot dogs, sausage, and all the good cuts.
All the stuff we love.
That's what Scrabble is. Just
hot dogs a good cut.
Whatever's left over. It's terrible.
Yeah, we love hot dogs and
disgusting.
Looks terrible.
Yeah.
What does it smell like, Angelo? What does it smell like? Because it looks like it just smells like roadkill to me.
Yeah, it smells like a pig ate a pig, and then before it fully digested, they pulled out whatever was in its stomach, and that's
you're
what
just
that is you're a disgusting. You are terrible, Angelo. Do you like ribs? Do you like pulled pork?
If you compare Scrabble to ribs or pulled pork,
you don't. You don't even eat pork. I bet.
That's like saying, "Oh man, this grass I just cut in my front yard. I'm going to put that on a salad."
Look, maybe it's just the way. Maybe it's just the way Mama makes it. And I'm not going to make it for you guys because I'll probably mess it up. I never made it. I'm going to get mama to make it for you.
I don't know.
And then we're
Have
gonna
you tried to
find
make
out.
that beef Wellington since?
No, I've made it the last 2 Christmases, and it's been a disaster.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Did it still taste good?
Third
Yes,
time.
It was filet mignon.
Third time's a charm, Dave.
listen.
I've been using Gordon
Jeff
Ramsay's
Collins.
recipe, man. He's leaving something out. He's leaving something out on me. He's holding out.
Okay.
Because mine falls apart.
Well,
That's a whole different
Reed,
story.
I'm telling you, Reed knows the secret. My wife, I mean, she figured out I was like just one big-ass delicious Hot Pocket, man.
The beef Wellington?
Yeah.
God, maybe I should watch her make it one time.
You should.
Okay. Either way,
I'm not going to say that.
we're going to get to Scrapple, Angelo. So, you know.
What other great takes do you have for me, Angelo?
Man, you put me on the spot. I don't know. The mint chocolate chip ice cream is the definition of mid. I can agree with Blake.
Okay,
on
now
that.
you get
the question.
Now you ruined that.
It's
Now
not
you ruined the
great.
call.
Question is not
Now you ruined the call. Get off the phone.
I'll eat it, but
It's mid.
It's not. It's mid. It's mid.
Yeah.
That's what the definition of the of his segment is. It's
Mint
mid.
shouldn't
It's
be
not
a
great.
mint
It's
shouldn't
not
be a flavor.
boring.
It's not mid. It's mint chocolate chip.
Angelo, great call.
Angelo, we love you, brother.
Thanks for 50% of the call, Angelo.
Must be good to wake up and be a
Have a
genius.
good
I don't think we're eating the same thing. There's something lost in translation. Call next week, though. All right, let's go to Kevin in Pennsylvania. We got another Pennsylvania. Kevin,
hot
you
today.
hate Scrapple too, man, or what?
Absolutely not. I think the people that eat Scrapple are the same people that want to ban the court storming. So
They are.
That's you.
What?
You're Jay
Kevin,
Billis.
I'm getting
Jay
buried
Billis is-
today.
Oh, man.
I was having such a nice Friday.
Oh, this is great.
But I wanted to talk to you guys about the court storming, actually, and why do
Okay.
you feel like these I don't know, just soft ESPN analysts? I forget the one you guys were talking about the other day.
Jay
But he's
Billis?
like, we just
Jay
just
Billis.
ban it all together, arrest people. Like, why does it feel like the liberals have to ruin everything about sports?
Well, it's my thing is, I think we're making, like I said yesterday, we're making the issue way too complex. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Let's get a countdown. Let's get some music going. Then let's get the visiting team off the court. Hey, let's have a party. I'll meet you at Tumors. We'll get some lemonade and put some vodka in it.
There you go.
This one has the vodka.
I
in
like
it,
the
sweetie.
shot clock idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Because if you just say, hey, everybody wait 30
I don't know. I
seconds.
feel like Kevin
you can't
doesn't
do
like
that
the shot
because
clock
it's an
idea.
emotional response, especially on a buzzer beater. But the shot clock idea, because the in-stadium people can prepare for this, just like the television crews do. They know how to shoot it when court storm and all this kind of stuff, go to the wide shot. You have the shot clock. It could make it even more exciting.
What?
'cause you're
We
counting
gotta
down.
people have to stop hiring 5'9", 400-pound chicks from Hills Have Eyes to be security at football games.
Well, like there's only a certain. I mean, look, there's not a bunch of guys from Baywatch just running to sign up to guard the
it's like
edges
refereeing
at a game. So
we have to
again,
make it
that's
serious.
that to me. That's
we need
not
bodies.
the argument, right? That's not the argument. Here's what
Security
makes
is
New
not the
Year's,
argument?
What? Yeah, like listen, security is not stopping an arena full of people from storming the court. You know what does? A deterrent of you getting in
shot
trouble
clock.
for doing it for 20 seconds. Yes. What makes New Year's? What makes the ball drop fun? The countdown.
Countdown.
Right? It doesn't take away the excitement. It adds to it. Let's get the countdown going. Guess what? Nobody storms the court before the 20 seconds. Gooey fries for everyone. We can put incentives and deterrent, the carrot and the stick. Figure it out, Kevin.
The countdown is no one goes to New Year's, and New Year's hit, and you're like, all right, wait 20 seconds.
Yes, they do. That actually happens at every New Year's party.
They always count down New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, you count down New Year's, but like you don't wait and count down. So you're saying the game ends, and then you wait 20 seconds.
But yes, buzzer ends. All right, put 20 on the clock. Let's go. 20, count it down. Hell, put 10 on there if you
count
want.
New Year's
Just
to
enough
New Year's. You
time
don't add
for
20
Kyle
seconds.
Filipowski's huge ass to run off the court. Don't storm the court with 1.2 seconds to go when the game's still going. That's just, I feel like we can do that.
Kevin, have you ever stormed a court?
No, but it did happen to me when I played in high school, so it was pretty cool.
Did you ever storm the Capitol? I'm just
Don't answer that.
Don't answer
Kevin.
that.
Do not answer
Don't answer
that.
that.
We got him.
They
Yeah.
are listening.
It's Kevin. Yes. From Hershey.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
Great call.
Kind of. Thanks for calling. All right. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Get on. All right, let's go to William in Alabama. William, what's up?
Slick Willie.
Oh, nothing much. Good morning, boys. How are y'all?
What's up, dog?
Morning to you, William.
Oh, I'm doing good. I wanted to interject in the ice cream thing real quick.
Come
Please.
Mint is not bad, all right? But why would I eat mint ice cream when cookie dough is available?
That's a statement I can get behind.
Okay.
That to me.
I said that. Probably one of my most unpopular opinions is cookie dough ice cream is not good.
Jay should be arrested.
Jay, no. Here's why.
He hates little kids.
No, first off.
And rainbows.
I'm trying to make one. I don't hate them. Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. It's not just mint. It's mint chocolate chip. Please finish the flavor, all right? Because you're only giving it half the credit. There's a balancing act there. That's the way the dish gets balanced. Second thing, what is better, the cookie or the cookie dough? Please tell me which is better.
And I see no difference.
No, I'm talking about in general.
The dough.
Which is, excuse me, Justine. I didn't ask you. I asked our good friend William from Alabama.
I bought cookie dough, edible cookie dough that could be baked into cookies.
You bought edibles?
3 times from the grocery store. Every time, the cookies never got made.
I'm the same way.
Well, then you're not giving them a chance to live their best life.
But
then you're not giving a chance to live their best life.
But 2 things of chocolate chip cookie dough this week.
Don't tell me how to be a fat kid.
Not a cookie.
Don't tell me how to be.
Hey, look, I was on All Access
in the oven.
Look, I was on All Access talking about putting hot sauce in pork rinds, so I'm right there with you. But at the end of the day, let me say this. I think cookie dough ice cream is overrated. Let me put it that way. Not that it's bad. If I have to, I will eat cookie dough ice cream. But why would I not just eat ice cream and then bake me some good chocolate chip cookies, Mike?
Look, I can get on board with all that. I just love that the Booster Club is as infatuated with food as we are.
Look, you either hating or you participating. What's it going to be, player?
Yeah, we'll see. William, I mean, look.
You said that, David?
We can agree to disagree.
It's fine.
We can disagree to disagree.
But I wanted to get your reaction real quick. You know, Matt Corral is playing for the Birmingham Stallions in the UFL.
Yeah. I'm excited for Matt. I wish it would have worked out in the NFL. He's the guy that I kind of had high hopes for. He did get hurt. You know, the foot injuries that he was dealing with, I believe it was an ankle too, maybe an Achilles, I can't remember. But I hope it works out for him, and I hope he gets another chance to go back to the league and do it, because I do think he's really talented. It's just kind of unfortunate that it went down the way it did. But look, this is why the USFL is there.
You can't look me in the eyes and tell me Desmond Ridder is better than Matt Corral.
I know. I agree.
You can't look me in the eyes and do it.
I agree with you.
But we're going to get to see him play in Birmingham, and I'm excited for that.
Hey, Stallions, man.
I'll catch a couple Stallions games.
Stallions are awesome, man.
Hashtag giddy up.
Yeah.
Giddy up, baby. Let's go.
Slap the horse. Let's get weird.
Appreciate it, William. All right, everybody else on the line, please, y'all call in next week, and let's get Monday started off hot next week.
Right? Hell yeah.
All right, I'm going to go over to bets. New month. New month. New phone. Who dis? Man, Flaming Dragon. What are your bets? Didn't even send them.
Y'all go.
I tell you what. Here's what I got tonight.
Mine up. Relax.
I'm going alma mater. All right. Start the month a little 2-teamer. Give me Lipscomb at home. That's not the alma mater. But give me South Alabama at home. Both those will win. That's plus 107. And then Fresno and Nevada. Took Nevada and Colorado State. They had it over the other day, and they did. Give me that over at 137. David, what you rocking with?
All right, I'm going to go with Dayton on the road, -1.5, and that's going off at -110. And then go ahead and give me Appalachian State at home hosting Arkansas State. I want App State -6.5 at -110.
God, I love a good app.
All right, give me the Flyers going off at -1.5. That is plus 205. Living a little bit dangerous on the first day. And then give me the Coyotes plus 1.5. That's going off at -150. Are we cashing this?
Get in there, boy.
That didn't go in.
Yeah, it did.
I can see it on the ground.
I can see it go in the trash can. Ace, he's going to take Yale, -19.5. Then he's going to take James Madison, one guy, -15.5 at home. Those are both -110. Shout out to Cranico Picks Tracker, won this month. You better enjoy it, buddy, because I'm done playing games with y'all.
Congratulations, Pick Tracker.
Done playing games.
You got lucky.
Done playing games with y'all.
One parting thought real quick before you read donos, because I know I'll forget and I don't want to. The Michigan family lost a great brother this week. Yeah. One of my dear friends, a teammate of mine, Craig Roh, passed away this week from cancer. A lot of people didn't even know that he was dealing with that. He actually went to the same high school as Taylor Lewan. They came together. All-time leader in starts at Michigan, which was wild.
That's unbelievably impressive.
An unbelievable guy and football player. He leaves behind a wife and a child. So please, there's a GoFundMe on my Twitter account and my social medias. Please donate to that, Michigan fans, because Craig Roh was a great guy.
Man, that's tough. Our condolences to the family for sure.
All right, let's go to Chase Mills with the $5 donation. All right, Chase, he says, Jake hates cookie dough ice cream. He's definitely in the Carolina Gay Men's Choir.
I don't
enjoys rollerblading by himself.
I don't hate it. By the way, I actually got my first kiss at a skate center. Lambert
Look at
Skate
you.
Center.
What was his name?
Huh? Boy, that's a good one. Real original. Real original. Derek.
Derek. I was going to house of Cody Bill with a $2 donation. Cone, did you make the Nashville Cats roster?
That was at Lipscomb Academy, and Lipscomb wouldn't let us come out there and shoot video.
Really?
That was the deal. The Cats said they wanted me to come
was
try out.
Was it because about Lady Ballers?
Maybe. I don't know. So now
They're not a huge fan of us.
So what are we doing now, Justine?
You know what? Take Lipscomb off. Take Lipscomb. No, hold on.
Get him off.
Man, hell no.
Get him off there.
Get him off.
Change your bet. I love it.
Get out of here.
Whatever South Alabama is, money not line. Lipscomb, shove it, y'all.
Hey, that's loyalty, man. Thank you.
That is. Kiss my ass.
So we're
Lipscomb.
just going directly to the Arena Football League. The Cats.
Nobody cares about Lipscomb
See
anyway.
if they'll give me a private tryout.
I hope you make it.
What if you make the team?
I told them I have something in the mornings this morning.
Yeah.
Well, they're like, look, we can make that work.
Like, look, y'all's league might fold in a couple months. Yeah. This ain't folding.
Yeah.
Like our quarterback can touch the top of the arena.
Let's go to Charles Dossett, $5 donation. Appreciate it. Charles, we all knew Jake was a French spy, and he just proved it. Send him back to France, revoke his citizenship, and change the show to Blaine and David.
Revoke my citizenship? Charles, after that great motivational speech that I gave your beautiful children, you come at me like this over some food. That's fine. Check your back door later. That's not that came out way. I
didn't love that.
Yeah. Not great for me right there. Can we clip that?
No.
Make sure to clip that.
No.
It's like David saying it's like David saying he wants to get behind Pete Alonso. Can we clip those two things?
Is that why you laughed?
Yes.
Is that why you laughed when I brought up Pete Alonso's name? What did I say?
You said Pete Alonso's a guy I can get behind. You said Pete Alonso's a guy I can really get behind.
Did I not say I was a fan?
I said I bet you would.
I was wondering why y'all were laughing.
Let's go to Steve's Trading Card Frenzy, $10 donation. Steve, appreciate it. Tried to call in, got disconnected. So
Steve!
The GFM is $150 from the goal.
Today. I've got to drive for a while today. I will handle it today.
Tuesday's game was won by Cone 1-0. I don't believe that, and I'm fighting against that. He says, stop cheating. I didn't cheat. David definitely did. You can still change one answer per game. Blaine versus Jake next week.
I'm undefeated in that game.
Yeah, we'll see, buddy. Let's go to Steve Miller with a $5 donation. Love your band, dude. He says, waking up to you guys is like waking up to a good cup of coffee.
Ooh.
And go Jake. Seriously, why can't Division I do playoffs like Division II or Division III?
Because that would just be too... It would just make
too much sense.
It'd make too much sense. That's why, Steven. That's why.
Let's go to Matt S. Matt, what is up with the $5 donation? Good morning and happy 7th birthday to my youngest son, Callaway Hayes.
What a great name.
He's a huge fan of the show and is the biggest Toronto Blue Jays fan I know. I don't mind the damn Blue Jays.
Hey, listen. First off, with that type of name, he's going to be good at something.
He already shot 68.
Yeah, it's Callaway Hayes.
Yeah.
That I may have to. First off, happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
buddy.
Happy birthday!
But that may be the name of my next Road to Glory player on the new EA Sports, Callaway. Or maybe I should start playing Tiger Woods again. I don't know.
The new one's not that good. You have to go play the old one.
The new one's not that good. Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm still trying to get that in Nintendo 64 hooked up. I can't hook it up on like a. God, this sounds like really uppity.
Would you have the three? Do you have the red?
I did all that. It's the resolution on the TV. It won't recognize it. It won't recognize it because the TV's too high res.
Gotcha.
It doesn't. It's just like a blue screen.
I'll take it.
No, I mean I'm a figure.
I got low res.
So I got to go buy. Yeah, it is. I just got to go buy an older TV.
Wow, it's crazy. I was going to Chase Mills, the $5 donation. Its mid was absolute hot fire. Blaine, appreciate it, Chase. Let's go to Charles Dossett with another $5 donation. Charles, appreciate it, man. How does Jake feel that his little brother has surpassed him? This first is a French spy, and the other is the future. God bless America.
Do we got a Paul Johnson, Jeff Collins situation going on over here, Charles? When did you turn on me? Like I'm actually real deal hurt.
This is great.
I know one guy probably returned your messages on Twitter. The other one probably didn't.
I did.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did. All right, let's go to Matt Stivers with a $10 donation. Matt, really appreciate it. Throwing without a helmet is only good to work on timing with your receivers. Never even competed in 7-on-7 scrimmage without a helmet. Yep. Cone, correct me if I am wrong.
I don't remember ever. Maybe in the spring or summer, but yeah, we still had a helmet on in the spring and summer.
Well, even Pat and Go.
Yeah.
Like you got your helmet on. Because again, timing, I need to be able to know, I need to see it's why I never like wearing sunglasses, like playing baseball. I want to see it like the way that the best way for me to see it. And in football, you have to wear a helmet. You can't go out there without a helmet. Like it's in the NFL blitz.
Let's go to Freeway Jared with a $5 donation. Jared, what's up? You need to call back in, man. It says, go Zags with the win last night.
Yeah.
Mom's put in that work with those orange slashes from the concession stand. Love you, Jake.
Yeah, hey, listen, y'all went to San Francisco with their volleyball lines on the court and everything and beat them to sleep. Look, that win at Kentucky that Gonzaga had, it kind of showed me something a little bit. And listen, like I said, I don't hate Gonzaga. It's just, at some point you got to win it, like to be the dog that I think that. But I don't know if they have that key cog to be able to go win the whole thing this year. It's going to be interesting.
Let's go to Blake Evans with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, Blake. Says, Blaine, I started watching New Girl, and it's pretty hilarious. I'm telling you, it's funny. Jake needs to watch it, too, since he definitely has it. Keep up the good work.
First off, I have watched New Girl. The one I'm interested in seeing is Resident Alien.
Yeah, it's really good.
You said it's funny.
Any of y'all watch it last night? Never
I didn't watch it. I was too busy watching basketball.
I got you. Let's go to Ryan Gade with the $5 donation. Seems fitting that Jake be in the gay choir. He is a Braves fan after all.
Whoa.
Hashtag 27 days.
Oh, God, please. Let the Phillies not make the. I'm gonna tell you what now, Ryan. The Phillies don't make the playoffs, or the Braves beat them in the playoffs. I'm gonna be hell on this app. I'm gonna be hell on it. Every day. I'm gonna send you donations. I'm gonna find a way to send you donations every single day talking about it. But no, I love you.
All right, Paul. Really appreciate all the donations, y'all. Is it weird to rollerblade as an adult? Yes. No. I'm calling the cops.
I'm gonna say. No one out, 41%.
Man, throwing the third option in there is what's tricky. I'll say yes, 40%. Yeah.
Yes, 42%.
Wow. Okay.
No, 36%. Calling the cops, 22%.
Call the cops at 22%.
Wait, how much to call the cops?
22%.
That's a decent amount of time. All right, well, it's always a decent.
Excuse me, the overhit.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
They're saying that the overhit, but I don't remember.
And they said it twice. Y'all didn't
remember
bring
ever
it
saying
at all.
Then why don't you say it, Blaine, if you hear your name?
I got some stuff going on.
Yeah. If you heard it, and you're so
play the
sure,
graphic,
you should
Justin.
play the graphic.
Play it.
Play that graphic. Play it. Jonesy hit that.
Y'all are just. We might as well not do it.
That was a perfect game.
We might as well not do it. We might as well not do it.
Yeah, Katniss
Everdeen. Might as well not do it.
I'm volunteering to distribute. It's a walk-off. We appreciate you guys. Congrats on the under-hitting on Flaming Dragon Friday. Tell everybody about it.
No, it did it.
Tell everybody about it. We'll see y'all next week. And, like, the chances of me being of me not being disappointed by the Braves in the postseason this year, we're going.
Oh,
it went under the treasure chest.
Never
gone. I'm never getting that back.